you are from the area. Right on. Excellent.
And I see so many rogues out there in the audience too. I love it.
I do too. I love seeing the
So I want to
cosplay.
Yeah.
Love it.
So I want to know, how was San Diego Comic-Con? I loved watching everything that you posted about it. That was so cool.
It was exciting. Oh my goodness. It's the fourth time I've done San Diego Comic-Con, and it just keeps growing. And our X-Men fans, of course, keep growing. But I had some really wonderful meetings with people about future projects. I can't talk about them right now, but stay tuned, sugar.
Love that. And I have to say, to kick off this panel, I think I speak for everyone in this room when I say thank you for being such a major part in so many of our lives at a formative age. What has it been like for you now, almost 30 years later, getting to see the impact that something you did has had on so many people?
Well, to be honest, it's rather overwhelming. You know, probably some of you have heard me say online, on panels that you've seen online, that the original X-Men cast, we had no idea how popular our show was until about 5 years ago, when we were invited to the LA Comic-Con after 25 years, and we were doing a panel, and Chris Potter, who played the original Gambit, and I were waiting off stage to come on, and people were like screaming and yelling, and they were so excited, and there were like 100,000 people out there, and we went, are we in the right place? You know, are they here for us? And they were. So because there was no internet at the time, there was no social media back in the 90s when we did the show, we never really got the opportunity to meet the fans or hear from the fans. And so now we're making up for lost time, and we're just all so grateful to be back and to be meeting all of you and hearing your stories about what the show meant to you as kids and now again as adults.
And I love how passionate you are about Rogue. And I'm curious, what has your relationship to the character has it evolved at all between the two series, and how has that changed for you?
Thanks for the question. Well, you know, the task was that the new show was going to pick up exactly where the last show left off. So really there's no time that has been between the two episodes, like Graduation Day, which was the last episode of X-Men the Animated Series, and the first episode of X-Men 97. So my job really was just to be the same, to be the character that everybody grew to know and love. And then in the course of X-Men 97 is when Rogue really goes through her emotional roller coaster and has to dig deep for a lot of emotions and things that probably have been simmering deep inside her for a long time, and then are triggered by the events of Genosha losing the man she loves, well, two of them, and then having to go on a hero's journey to try and get justice for Remy and also for all the other people who were killed in Genosha.
And it was such a great episode too, and you definitely remember it. You know, yes. Sorry.
And then Bright Eyes too, when she goes to the army base and drops Trask out the window. Same, sugar.
Something I think about a lot is the fact that, you know, X-Men fans have been really spoiled in recent years, but in the 90s, that was really our first introduction to these characters off the page. How aware were you of X-Men when you booked Rogue, and were there any comics you went and looked at to get yourself more familiar with the character?
You know, when I was a kid, I wasn't really a comic book kid. I was into mythology. So my grandmother introduced me to mythology, and I just fell in love with it. I would read all kinds of books about mythology from all around the world. In particular, the Greek and Roman mythology. But so when I get scripts like the ones that the X-Men the stories that they're telling, I recognize in them the universalness of the myths, really. And these are like our modern day gods and goddesses who have superpowers, but yet they still have mortal emotions and issues that they need to deal with. So Rogue, for instance, I recognized immediately that she has what we would call an Achilles heel in Greek mythology and in Greek tragedy, which means they called it an Achilles heel is your one weakness that would basically could kill you if you allowed it to somehow get triggered. And her Achilles heel is also her greatest strength, and that is her inability to touch people. So if she does touch them, she drains them of all their life force and takes it upon herself, which makes her super strong. But it means she's also very vulnerable in that she can never touch someone because she's afraid of killing them. So therefore she can never fall in love or be intimate with anyone. So her greatest strength is also her Achilles heel. And so I think that makes her somewhat of a tragic hero. You know, she's on the hero's journey, oftentimes trying to find herself, trying to figure out what makes her who she is, and trying to figure out what her place in the world is and how she can make a difference and make the world a better place.
Answer, and I'm also a mythology girly, so
nice.
Love to hear it.
Nice.
You know, I feel like a lot of the conversation around season 1 is about the love triangle, but there's also so much about Rogue that is outside of both of those men in season 1, and I'm curious for you, which arcs kind of stood out to you the most, and if there were other relationships, other kind of conversations and experiences that Rogue had in season 1 that still kind of stands out to you at all?
Well, I mean, obviously, I love the whole story that she tells Remy when she talks about why she needs to go off with Magneto, because she does want to create this sort of a utopia for mutants. And if you know the comic books, then you know that she and Magneto did have a relationship in the Savage Lands. And he taught her a lot about his vision for the future for mutant kind. And so she wants to make that a reality. She wants to manifest that. Plus she can touch Magneto and he can touch her in ways that Remy can't. However, in that episode of episode 5, remember it, I love the fact that when she comes down out of the ceiling, she floats down in that beautiful gown and they dance around each other and they touch palms and then they kiss and then they pull away and you think she's going to say to him, I love you so much, or something like that. But instead she says, thanks for the dance, sugar, but Remy was right. Some things are deeper than skin. And I love that because Remy, of course, said that to her when she said she was going to go off with Magneto, because he's saying there are some things like love that are deeper than just touch and skin, that he loves her so much, wants to be together with her. And she finally realizes that touch isn't everything, and that the true love that she feels deep, deep inside is what's important for Remy. And then all hell breaks loose, as you know if you've seen that episode, with all the explosions and the bombs going off, and she has to fly into action. But that's one of my favorite moments.
Moment. And I see a Savage Land Rogue over there, so maybe it's time to start doing fan questions. I see a fan question right here. And in a rogue costume too.
Hello.
Hello.
I was nominated to do the first question, so I had to think of one on the spot. So, is there any arc from the original series or 97 that you wish was explored further for Rogue, or is there one from the comics that you would like to see in the series explored?
Well, thank you for that question, Sugar. This is Cara. She's one of our favorite fangirls. She comes to a lot of different Comic-Cons, and I really appreciate her representing as Rogue.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You know, I love the mother-daughter stuff with Mystique that was in X-Men the Animated Series, and I would love to see that explored more in the future. I think that all of those familial relationships that Rogue have had an effect on her. Obviously her father kicking her out of the home when he found out she was a mutant, running around trying to figure out where she belonged, and then Mystique came out and became her foster mother. but she used her and she manipulated her emotions because Rogue so much wanted love and she wanted to belong to somebody or something, and she felt like she belonged to this new family and the brotherhood of evil mutants. But then she discovers that Mystique used her and abused her. So that puts up her guard again so that she's wary of trusting anybody. And so I think that could be explored more as time goes on in the show.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's a great question and a great answer.
Hi. Lord, that's loud. Sorry.
It's okay.
Hi.
Hello.
I am a fellow Southern redhead with an adoptive sibling, and I was wondering how you feel Rogue's relationship with Nightcrawler has changed her, has changed her character, and how you would like to see them interact more to show her growth.
Thank you for that. I love Nightcrawler. I think a lot of people do, and Adrian Huff, who plays that role, is a good friend. We are so excited that we get to go to Comic-Cons together often and sign together. And so he's really excited to be back in the show as well. And I'm glad that we got to see some more of the brother and sisterly love between them. You know, when he's able to comfort her when she's grieving. And you'll be seeing more of Nightcrawler again too in season 2. And we just can't wait to show you what we're doing. But I think that relationship is very important because Rogue really is searching for what is the point and where is her place in the scheme of things. And oftentimes religion and spirituality helps people to find out who they are and where they belong and make them feel like there's a power greater than themselves. And so I think that's really an important part of our show, and Nightcrawler plays that role. So, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's a great question and a great costume. Next up.
My real question might sound a little silly, but what do you have for lunch today?
What do I have for what?
Lunch today.
Lunch? For me?
Yes.
What do I have for?
What did you have for lunch today?
I had a latte and a chicken pocket from Starbucks across the street.
Those are so good, aren't they?
Yeah, it was. It was the first time I tried it. I love Starbucks because they're in every airport, and when I don't have time to sit down and eat a full meal, I'll just grab a latte and have something small. Thank you for that question.
Different question. Next up.
So we're hearing news that Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios, now they're in the casting phase for a new iteration of the X-Men. So my question is, if you had to put your coaching hat on for the next generation of Rogue, what are some tips you would give so that she can capture the character, comics accurate, and to the fans pleasing?
Well, Sugar, I think she should watch X-Men the Animated Series and X-Men 97. That would be my #1 thing to say. I think the film versions changed Rogue from what she was written in the comics and what we did in the animated series. They kind of made her more like Jubilee. And I think they went for a younger demographic by doing that, but I don't know why they didn't just choose Jubilee and use Jubilee instead of making Rogue like Jubilee. So it'll be interesting to see where they go now. And selfishly, I would love it if they do use CGI for Rogue and use my voice. Very selfishly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I know, we need an X-Men animated series movie, right? That's what we need next.
Right. Oh, an X-Men animated feature film would be fantastic.
Same.
I think people would love that. We got to see the first 3 episodes in the theater at the Capitol, El Capitan in Hollywood, when the show first came out, and it was amazing. Were you there?
All friends that were there.
It was fantastic. The audience was just beside themselves. When that theme music started up, and with the big screens and all our characters started coming out, they went nuts. So I think that would be really successful.
I think so too.
Mr. Feige, if you're listening.
So, where do you find the voice for Rogue? What isn't it based on anything?
It's just my voice, sugar. I can't really get rid of it. I met Mr. Feige at a private screening of Wolverine and Deadpool recently, and it was the first time we'd met, and he said, "Oh, you even sound like her." I was like, "Yeah, you think, sugar?"
I personally think you're the best role for Rogue.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Great question. Next up, and from another Rogue.
If you had to play a different X-Men, which one would you play?
Ooh, I love Gambit. I think that goes without saying. I am the original Romy fan. I love Gambit. I also love Storm. I think Storm's an amazing character, but I could never do her justice as Allison Seeley Smith does. She is Storm, and she has, been the voice of so many people's childhood. So yeah, I just love her so much. But yeah, those are my two other favorite characters.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Very fun question. Next up.
Hello.
Hello.
This is just a question regarding when you get added to Marvel Rivals, what is your old call going to be?
Well, we'll just have to wait and see, won't we? But, I mean, if anyone has played Marvel vs. Capcom or Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Street Fighter, my signature line there was, "Good night, sugar," right? So maybe they could incorporate that or something.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Very fun question. Next up.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, you might know me. I'm back at the autograph booth.
I remember.
Yeah. Two of questions was, what was your favorite moment of Rogue you had, and what was your favorite episodes on both of these X-Men TV shows?
Thank you for that question.
Because mine is episode 397, and then the 90s version, Red Dawn, where Jubilee teams up with Colossus to save stop Omega Red from destroying his country.
Right.
I wanted the X-Men to join them both.
Well, thank you. Anybody who hasn't seen the original show, who's only seen X-Men 97, I say, yeah, watch X-Men 97 first. Let that be your gateway to X-Men. And then go back and watch the original series, because there are so many great stories in there. And Eric and Julia Lewald were the head writers for our series then, and they did such a beautiful job. I have two favorite episodes from the original series. A Rogue's Tale, in which you find out my origin story. And then The Cure. I love The Cure, because that's when Rogue goes to Muir Island, because she's heard that there's a scientist who has developed a way to get rid of mutant powers, and she decides that she wants to be quote-unquote normal, like everybody else, so that she can touch another and have a normal existence, loving somebody and whatever. But in the course of the episode, first of all, she finds out that it was a hoax and that it's her mother, Mystique, trying to get her back. But it's a really good episode. But in the course of that whole episode, she realizes something, and she learns that she has to embrace herself, who she is, warts and all. And she says at the end of it, "I reckon I am my powers and the good they can do. And I reckon I can live with that. There ain't no cure for who you are." I love that. That's so important. It's a great message for today, right? You're welcome.
Excellent questions and autographs.
No problem.
Next up.
Hello.
Hey,
Hope you're having a lovely day.
thank you, I am.
So I recently got into X-Men, the series, the show, comics, etc. a few months back, and I really fell in love with Rogue's character. I feel like her personality and what she does can act as a metaphor for a lot of us, especially with self-identity and finding who she is, especially with the whole can't touch anyone powers, and also her love for Remy and stuff. That's very hard to reciprocate sometimes, but still a classic, of course. What are your thoughts on Rogue representing something for all of us in a way?
Thank you for that question. It's true, I hear that from a lot of people. I hear it from a lot of people in the LGBTQ2S plus community, that they relate to Rogue because of those very things that you just expressed, that she can't touch anyone, and she really is afraid to show people who she really is. I think at a very early age, she was made to feel like it's not okay to really show who you are to people. And so there's a fear there that if she does, she'll be rejected. And I think a lot of people can relate to that. So many women have told me that they loved seeing a strong, kick-ass Southern woman depicted, and not as a bigot and not as somebody who's dumb. And I think that that's really important as well. And a lot of men, well, a lot of men also fell in love with her, but when they were 12, but they also can relate to Rogue as well, because I think a lot of people are out there lonely. I think many people go through life feeling lonely and like they don't quite belong, and maybe they're in between groups and they don't know where they belong. And so they can relate to Rogue's, the questions that she's oftentimes asking herself. And I feel like it's my responsibility to show people and to remind people that it's okay to be who you are, that you are enough just as you are, and that everybody is worthy of love and respect and kindness. And I think if we all give that to each other, what a beautiful world we will have.
Next up.
Hello.
Did you ever truly expect to return to the role as Rogue?
No, sugar, I did not. It was a complete surprise to me. You know, I had left acting and gone into politics for 12 years as an elected official in Canada, in what you would call a congresswoman in the state parliament, and then federally as well. I worked with Prime Minister Trudeau as a member of parliament and introduced all kinds of different bills, including my own private member's bill, we call it, an act to address environmental racism. And environmental racism is the disproportionate number of toxic dumps, waste sites, landfills, and corporate polluters that are placed on or beside racialized communities, oftentimes Black communities or Indigenous communities or people of color. And so that bill passed in Canada's Parliament last summer, and I was able to be there when it passed the Senate, and it became law in Canada. It got the seal of the King of Canada, because we're still a Commonwealth country, and it's now the law of the land. So yeah, I had no idea I was going to be coming back here, but here you go. Life is what happens when you're busy making other plans.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Question. Next up.
Hi.
Hello.
I am actually not a big X-Men fan because I haven't watched it yet. I will watch it. I'm here for my friend who's first before. So my question is, since I don't know anything, what is your favorite outfit that she has worn in anything?
Wow.
Yes.
My favorite outfit. Well, to be honest, last year in December, there was the Emmy Awards, the Primetime Emmy Awards, it took place in Hollywood, and we were nominated for Best Animated Series. So I decided to dress up and cosplay as Rogue to go to the Emmys, because I figured the fans would love it. I hadn't done it before, so I got a professional makeup and hair person, and she did the wig and the makeup. And I had somebody design, Rachel Sanderson, her name is, create an outfit that was designed by a comic book artist named Vecchio, and he's from Argentina or somewhere. And he had designed it for the Hellfire Gala 2023. So it was something that he designed especially for the Hellfire Gala, and I loved it, so I had them make that for me, and I wore that to the Emmys.
That's so cool.
It was so much fun. You're welcome. If you check it out, you can see it online. There's lots of pictures of me dressed up. Yes.
Next up, that's such a good look too. I love that outfit.
I know.
So
I
good.
love it.
Hey, what's up?
Hey.
Hey. So, have you met Scott McNeil?
Yes, I have.
So, what do you think about he did the voice of Logan and Ruthie?
What do I think about the what?
He did the voice.
His voice?
Yeah, of the Ruthie.
Well, Scott and I have done a lot of shows together, animated series in Vancouver. I didn't work on Evolution though. I think he was in that one, but I didn't see it and I wasn't in it. I was already gone from Vancouver by then. But we did a lot of other shows together, and Scott McNeil's a fabulous voice actor. Yeah.
Next up, I see another one approaching the microphone.
I'm a little vertically challenged. You're going to have to help me out here. Hi again.
Hello.
So this question actually comes from my daughter, who's over there in the rogue shirt.
All right.
I just needed to embarrass her just a little bit. That's a dad's prerogative. So as we were talking earlier before about villains, and obviously mine is Mr. Sinister, besides Magneto, who would be your favorite villain that was in X-Men and the animated series?
Oh, well, I mean...
Besides Mystique, too. Come on.
Well, Mr. Sinister, I'm with you on Mr. Sinister. You can't beat Mr. Sinister. He's great. He's so sinister. And Chris Britton, who plays Mr. Sinister, he lives in British Columbia, in Vancouver. He is another actor who I've known for many, many years, and it's so great when we get to be at the same Comic-Cons together, because he says, you know, you need a villain. You need a good villain. He said, everybody loves the heroes, but you need a good villain. And I'm like, yes, you do. And I was able to introduce him through the internet to a young man in LA who has a band called Nox Sinister. And because he loves Sinister, and he dresses up like Sinister. And he does this sort of heavy metal stuff. And he writes songs and everything, like as if like Mr. Sinister would write them. So I was able to go to one of his concerts at the Whiskey A Go-Go. He was so excited, and I got pictures with him, and he gave me a CD, and he gave me a CD to give to Chris Britton. So I love Chris, and I love Mr. Sinister. So yeah, I just love hooking up all these people with each other.
And you were correct about the 12-year-old thing, too.
Yes, thank you.
Next up, I see somebody dressed up like Remy.
Oh wow, crop top gambit. Hello, sugar.
Hello, Chair. So, I have to ask, I know that you can't say too much because the meetings just happened for San Diego, but if you could put the tone of season 2 into one word, what would you call it?
Exciting.
Of course, spelled with an X.
Yes, exactly. No, I think you're going to be on the edge of your seat again for season 2. We don't let up. We don't let up the pace, and we never talk down to our audience. We always bring them right along with us and bring them up. And so I think you're gonna see a lot of really good storylines, and you're going to be very exciting.
Very excited, thank you.
Very exciting.
Have you seen any of the episodes yet? Is it?
I've seen parts of a couple of them when I went back in to do a little bit of ADR. So there have been some line changes and things like that. I went back in and did, and they got to show me some of the stuff. It looks fabulous.
You can see inside your brain and see those episodes already.
I know. And see, and when I read the scripts, I'm like all of you. I hear all the voices in my head too, and I know them so well that I can just hear them and I can see them. And then I go in the booth usually by myself, but it's all in here. So it's like I'm acting with them.
Cannot wait. Cannot wait. I see we have another fan question.
Hello. Oh,
hello.
geez. Hello. I'm really sorry.
It's okay.
Okay. First thing, you're really, really cool. Thanks for all your work in politics and environmental racism and equality. That somebody needs to do it.
Yes.
Second thing. So, I guess the context for the question is, when I become a rich and famous voice actor that is so beloved, I will tell everyone that my work and my motives are inspired by Star Trek. That's my first fandom, right? And I think many other people might also love Star Trek, I don't know. Before your career in X-Men, you know, as an X-Man, what was your thing that inspired you?
Well, I love performing. And when I was a little kid, I have a book that I've just written. It's my memoir called A Rogue's Tale.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's out now. I've been going on a book tour across North America and actually around the world to New Zealand and Australia as well. If you want to get it, you can get it on Amazon. A Rogue's Tale by Lenore, Zann.
To read it.
And in it, I talk about my early years as a kid in Australia and how I used to go back and forth between my mom and dad's house in Sydney, where my mom, she enrolled me in ballet classes, and I used to love going to the ballet and seeing professional dancers. And when I'd get into the theater, and everybody's all excited, you could hear the audience all talking and rustling of papers and candies and all kinds of stuff, and you can feel the excitement. It's like electric in the room. And then everybody quiets all down when the lights come, you know, the lights go down and then they come back up. And it's like this dream world on stage with beautiful, you know, designs and the costumes and the dancers. That was my first foray into performance, and I was mesmerized. I just thought I want to be up there. Right? But I used to go between that and my grandmother's house out in the outback, in the bush in Australia, where there were snakes, big, huge, long snakes that used to stretch from one end of the road to the other. They disappeared out into the bush. You couldn't see where they began or ended. And there were kangaroos and koalas and all kookaburras and all these kinds of things. And so my love of nature also, and Aboriginal Indigenous kids who were the next door neighbors became my first friends because I was just an only child. So in my book I talk about how the juxtaposition of going back and forth between those two worlds was the formative years that kind of created me for who I am.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's an interesting juxtaposition, right? Two very different and separate things. But at least the one thing about the arts that's so beautiful is you can create a vision for people, and you can hold a mirror up to society and show society what is going on and take them away and take them on a journey and give them a cathartic experience and then set them back down in their seats till they're like back in their seats and they're themselves again. And for me, that is gold. I love doing that. That's my jam.
Me too. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Definitely read her book. It's fantastic. Another question right here.
Hi, my name is Logan. I have two questions for you.
Well, how'd you get your name? I have a question for you. How'd you get your name?
General Hospital, surprisingly. My mom was a massive fan of it.
Cal God will love that.
Logan died and she wanted to like honor him or something.
Right.
Sorry, train of thought.
Sorry.
Question one, sorry. Do you think that the Deadpool movies are a good introduction to the X-Men in general? Because that was like my first like, ooh, okay. Because I thought he was Spider-Man when I was a kid. I was like, oh, let's watch this. Fell in love with the movies. What are your thoughts on them?
You mean on the Deadpool and Wolverine?
With
the version of Gambit, you mean?
Yes.
Yes. Well, I loved it. I thought it was hilarious. It reminded me a lot of Brad Pitt in not Fight Club. There was a movie that he did where he plays a boxer, Snatched. Something was Snatched. Anyway, he plays an Irish boxer who speaks so quickly in very Irish brogue that you can't understand a word he's saying. And so it's very funny. So I thought he was hilarious in that. I'd love to see where they take him, and I think Gambit's got so many different interesting sides to him that he's a much deeper character, and hopefully we'll get to see that in the future.
As well as that, what if you had one? What do you think your like I made it moment was? Like where you just like sat down and looked at like, wow, I I'm doing this. Like, what was that for you, if you had that?
You know, I never have that. I never think that way. I just think that it's a journey, and I take one day at a time. And, you know, I've seen a lot of things in my life. I've had a lot of really good experiences and a lot of really bad experiences. And I oftentimes talk too about the fact that my inspiration for Remember It, that episode, was when my little 17-year-old niece passed away of cancer a few months before I recorded that. And so I know how fragile life is, and I know that it's finite. And so I just want to try and bring as much joy and light to people's lives and to the world as I can, because I know there's a lot of dark things going on and a lot of pain and suffering. And I really want to try and make people feel happy and to realize to just enjoy every moment, because we don't know how long we have it.
Thank you. That was. Thank you.
Those are great questions. Next up.
Yeah, great. It's great.
Hello.
Hello.
So my question is, do you have to warm up your voice before playing the character?
You know, I don't have to warm up my voice for Rogue, because it's basically just is my voice. I don't have to really do anything for it. But when I'm doing a play, especially musicals, which I started off doing musicals. In fact, when I was 19, I was chosen to play Marilyn Monroe in a rock opera on the life of Marilyn Monroe. So, yeah, she's a great character, and she was a wonderful actress, and never really given her due in her lifetime. Always thought of as a dumb blonde, but she was really, really smart. So I got to play her at the age of 19, and it was a rock opera, which meant it was all sung, no dialogue. And so for those, yeah, hell yeah, I have to warm up. But when it comes to just speaking as Rogue, no, I don't have to do much for her. She's just right there.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's a great question. We have one more right here. It's your turn.
Hello, thank you. Evening Chair. I want to ask, so you're reading the lines, and obviously you're professional, it's a craft for you. But did you feel anything when you read the line where you got to fly up in the ceiling and throw Captain America's shield way out there talking trash? Did you feel anything, or was that just another day at the office for you?
You know, it's never another day at the office for me. I always put everything I've got into my performances. And I'm right there in the moment, imagining myself in whatever situation it is that I have to portray. And in that particular episode, episode 7, so episode 5, I already shared how, you know, the death of my sweet young 17-year-old niece, Maya, just broke my heart. And I put all my grief into that performance. Part of the journey of dealing with death and other things like that is rage. You feel rage against everything, against God, against the universe, against whoever took your beautiful loved one away. And so I channeled all my rage into episode 7. And plus, having been a female in politics, I can tell you it's not easy. There's a lot of misogyny that's out there. And so there was a lot of stuff I couldn't really let out at the time while I was in politics. But hell, gave me a chance to let it out in episode 7. And Rogue goes rogue, and I loved every minute of it.
Yes, thank you so much. That was awesome. We felt it. So I didn't know if that was just you being a great actor. It's good to see that.
Well, a great actor is able to channel their own emotions and put it into their performance. That's what makes it great. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
That's a great question. I see Savage Land Rogue is back.
Hi again, sorry. I promise I'm not being selfish. I have a question specifically actually for my little sister. She's 16, and she's actually in Scotland right now for her first show that she's traveling with. She's an aspiring actress. And I wanted to know what advice you have for her as somebody who has floated through the industry, through so many different channels, voice acting, stage, writing, all the different things you've done. What you would tell somebody who especially maybe is a little shyer, what advice you can give them to succeed and to not give up?
Thank you. Well, first of all, I always say that in order to be an actor and a successful actor, you have to want it as badly as breathing. Because if you don't want it as badly as breathing, you're going to give up. The rejection will kill you. There's so much rejection in our industry. Many people just see the golden moments, you know, and when we're on social media and things like that, we tend to show the happy moments, the successful moments, all that. But there's a lot of hard work that goes into it. So my advice to young people getting started is always think of it like a financial portfolio. Diversify, diversify, diversify. The more different types of things you can do within the industry, acting, writing, producing, singing, whatever, voice, stage, film, television, all of that, do it and learn how to do it and just don't give up. And if you really want it badly, just don't let anybody tell you it can't be done.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And that was a beautiful note to wrap this panel up with. And are you going back to your table? You'll be here?
I will be back at my table on Celebrity Row, so come see me, sugar.
Yes, so if you didn't ask a question, maybe you were too shy, you can go talk to Lenore at her table. And thank you all for coming out tonight, and thank you for joining us. This was fantastic.